This video shows one solution for using industrial label printers within Maximo. In Maximo, we can first define our label. Labels can be of many configurations. You might want a label for your inventory, you might want a label for your asset calibrations, you might want a label for your receipts. So in this case, we have 7 labels defined for various uses. And this here is the label code. That's what we're going to send to the printer. We're going to send, in this case, the item number, part of the description on this line, part of the description on the next line, model number, who the vendor was. This is a receipt label again. What bin's it going to go to? Is it for our work order? So we define our labels. Now we need to define our printers. Defining printers is fairly straightforward. Again, this note here, it's by site, so you can have many sites, you can have thousands of printers. We give the printer an ID, we give it an IP address. We're going to use TPC to communicate with the printer. So we can have several printers. Again, the IP address doesn't have to be a hard-coded IP, it can be a name, but it is a fixed IP address. Once we have our labels and printers defined, we say, okay, how are we going to use these? In this case, oops. We've said for the asset application, we're going to use the label called asset, and we're going to use printer 1. Dialog type, let's not get into that. Another assignment for the inventory application, we're going to have use the label that we've called inventory, and it's going to use printer 3. And so on. Receipts, label receipt, printer 3. So we have defined our labels, we defined our printers, and we've defined where we're going to use the labels and printers. So let's go look at an example. Let's look at the inventory. So let's look at, simplify it a little bit. We have 21 records, and I want to print labels for these inventory records. So there's the assignment, printer 3, inventory label. Say OK. Now this is a demo, but this is the code that would be sent to your industrial printer. So it's taking the information from the label and substituted the information for Maximo, the Maximo record, and we're going to push that out to the printer. And the printer is going to print the labels. If I want to label my bin numbers, so I have a storeroom PKG, there's only 21 items in that storeroom, but I can print out bin labels for each bin. And in this case, it's going to summarize the bins. It's summarized and said, hey, you have 11 bins in this storeroom based on the records you've selected. I'm going to put those to printer 2, and it's going to be a bin label. Say OK. And there's what's sent to the printer. Another example, receiving. So I've received some items for this particular purchase order, and I want to print the labels for them. Print receipt labels. Again, there's my printer it's going to send it to. There's the label it's going to print. And this is the record that it's going to use to print the label. If I don't want to print all those labels. I can simply print one of each, as opposed to one of each item. And there's what's sent to the printer. Let's go back and look at the labels again. I want to find one specific. There we go. So we're going to put some logic in your label design. You can use if statements, if this and that, else do this and that. And you can have the if else and if embedded. It might be handy for calibration labels. Did the calibration pass? Do we need a special label for it? That sort of thing. So yeah, label printing, Maximo label printing. For more information, visit maxprocure.com and click Schedule Demo.